I feel like it's been a while.
It
since
has.
the first, because you were the first person I interviewed, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Honored. Oh, I was the first person to get roasted
Yeah. How many months ago was that?
a long time ago. Like 5, 6 months ago. I've made more since. I'm just kidding.
No, she's not.
I'm kidding.
Told us about your life, about living in America, and then coming here.
Yeah, now I've been here for exactly 1 year.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So let's get into it.
Okay, what are we getting into? Do not ask me how much I need to make.
I'm sure there's people that don't know who you are.
Many.
So, how did you get here in Vietnam first? Give us the little preamble.
Okay, I was born in Vietnam. I went to the States when I was 2 with my family. We were refugees. And then I lived there for 30 years. And I just, I love the opportunities that I had in the States, education, whatever. But I just want a new perspective, and I just wanted to discover my homeland. So,
But
I
what
moved
made
back.
you want to leave, though, America? Because, I'm sure you're just like me, the first month, 2 months, a random Grab driver, your aunt, your uncle, oh,
Or, yeah.
why are you here?
Yeah, for trải nghiệm, experience. Yeah, just to experience something new that is different from America. That is, I feel like growing up in America, that's all that we know. And America is so big, but then there's a whole world out there that we don't know. So while I'm a freelancer, I work remotely, I can do that. And I just want to feel more connected to home.
And you're making USD.
I am, yes. And I work night times during U.S. hours.
And how much are you making
Oh
right
my
now, as you're making more, to sustain this place and your current lifestyle?
I'm not telling you. I'm not getting roasted online again.
Is it more than 4
I
now?
make enough. I make enough to sustain a lifestyle that I want. And I save a lot of money. I save, I invest. I have parents who are getting older, so I want to make sure that I can support them if I need to.
Would you say you're with the same amount of money that you're making now, and you lived in the States, you'd be actually making less, right? You wouldn't be saving as much.
Yeah. I think in the States, I just budgeted my life differently. Maybe I didn't go out as much. I made coffee at home. I ate at home a lot. But over here, I have the privilege of flying to Thailand for a weekend, or Malaysia or Indonesia, anywhere that it just feels so much more accessible, because the cost of living, of course, is lower here. And with the USD, I have a lot of more options.
More buying power.
Yeah.
Help us understand. You came here to experience. Now that you have experienced for a year, do you still want to be in Vietnam?
Yeah. I mean, a year is just you blink and it passes by. I mean, you experience a lot, but there's so much more that I want to experience here. My Vietnamese has gotten so much better. I feel so much more comfortable speaking. But now it feels like I'm finally getting a groove and a schedule, and building my small community of folks and finding my people. So yeah, 1 more year and we'll see after that.
Because you signed this place for a year.
Yeah.
And then after the year, is there even a thought of Vietnam's my home, or I'm going to go somewhere else?
I don't know. I have no idea. A lot can happen in a year. We'll see. We'll see in 6 months. Check back with me. But for now, I'm locked in for a year.
So what are the biggest struggles in terms of coming here initially? Because you sold a lot of your possessions, your car.
I did, yeah. I sold my car. I still have my house. Yeah, I think a big struggle is you miss your people. You miss your community, especially when you have deep roots like I did. I lived in one city for 10, 13 years.
Which was?
Atlanta. So, I built such deep roots there that to just completely uproot is so different. And in Saigon, it's such a big city. And, I'm from such a small town in Georgia, southeastern United States, that this is just so big and busy, and people are coming and going. And it's really cool to meet all these international people. But eventually, people leave.
Lonely? Do you still feel lonely in terms of like trying to find community?
I did at first. When I first came here, the first 6 months, I was connecting. I mean, talking to my friends a lot back in the States because I just needed like somebody to talk to. But now that I've kind of gotten into different hobbies, different organizations, friend groups, it does feel less lonely and more like this is home.
Because no one ever talks about, yes, like moving to Vietnam is one thing, but like, how old are you?
I'm 33 now.
So going into your 30s and going completely different environment, trying to make friends in your 30s is a different game compared to you go to high school and you with the homies. This is like new. Everyone has maybe kids, partner.
Yeah. Everyone has their lives that they've already like formed and their circles that they've already formed. But in like the Viet Kieu communities, a lot of people are coming and going, and so it is fairly easy to make friends here. And like a lot of locals really embrace you, or me anyway. Like I just feel really blessed to have a lot of local friends who are like, yeah, come, I'll like speak Vietnamese with you, and you can practice English with me. That feels really good, and they explain cultural things that I might have gaps in understanding. But it's still really challenging to know which people are your people. Among making like 50 friends in a week, you're like, who are the ones who are going to stick?
Quality.
Yeah, like quality, deep friendships.
I think that's the same thing that I've kind of noticed here in my 7 months is like, it's easier to meet people, but it's like, you're not gonna get. It's like dating. You're not gonna
You can't,
like get along with everybody.
Yeah.
And like some might be one and done. Hey, I meet you for a coffee, and then
And we'll never see each other again. Yeah.
How many of those have you had?
A lot. I mean, yeah, when I first came, I was like, let me connect with everybody. Like every single day, I met like 3 different people for coffee. And sometimes you vibe and sometimes you don't. And back home, I just felt like I had 10 years to build relationships and friendships. But here, I'm like, like part of it is like forcing it a little bit. Like I want to have friends.
Yeah.
It's throughout the year, it's gotten better.
What are some other challenges that you remember right off the bat of like coming here?
I mean, one big challenge is I work remotely. So in the US, when they are in California, especially like when folks are just waking up and having their morning sip of coffee, and that's when we're getting on meetings, like I've had a whole day. I woke up, I hung out with friends, I wrote a bunch of poetry, I worked, and I have my nighttime brain because it's like 11 p.m. here. And so going against folks like morning brain, I'm like, that was really hard for me. Like when I first came here, is adjusting to that nighttime work.
Is that healthy for you? And how long can you keep that up?
I'm trying to make it less, like only have a couple meetings a week, and then just work like independently and submit projects. But yeah, no, I don't think it's healthy, and it's very backwards.
Speaking of backwards, you grew up in ATL, Atlanta, Georgia, for all of your life. Would you consider most of your majority, 90%?
Yeah, mostly.
You consider yourself very American in terms of culture?
I don't. Only because my parents are like, construction. Don't mind us. So my parents are very, very Vietnamese, and I grew up on a farm, and so we were very isolated from, I think, the rest of the town and maybe the rest of America. And so I grew up with a lot of Vietnamese, the language, customs, values, all that. And so when I went to college, I was in Vietnamese Student Association. I was the president of that. I did a lot of like national conferences. A lot of my friends were Vietnamese, and of course, like I integrated into American culture as well. But I would solidly call myself like a person in that third space of being American and Vietnamese.
So when you packed your bags here and like started living here, and you're like at home, you felt Vietnamese, right? You like that kind of the culture. Did you come here or like be like, wait, certain things surprised you, certain things of like culture shock?
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I wanted to come here to get a different experience of life. And yes, I felt very Asian in the States, and then when I came here, I felt very American. I mean, my life, our lives in the Western world are very go, go, go. I mean, calendar invite after calendar invite, and like sometimes my calendar would be packed from like 9 a.m. to 10 meeting, 10 to 11 meeting, 11 to 2 work session, 2 to 3. Like it was just constantly like that. And then when I arrived here, like people would have coffee breaks for like 3 hours. And I'm like, am I wasting your time? Like, do you need to go somewhere? And they're like, I'm here. I'm here with you. And that is the place that I needed to be. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah, so that has been really different.
So you're saying the sense of being able to sit presently with someone like 3-4 hours.
Yeah, yeah, and not feel like you have to be so productive at all times. And like, I'm not saying that Vietnamese people don't work hard. They hustle like crazy and they work so hard, but they also really know how to enjoy life in a way that I'm not sure a lot of the Western world values.
In part one, you talked about the LBH.
Yeah, like I'm not escaping. I loved my life in the States. I loved my community, my friends, my lifestyle, everything. I just wanted a different perspective. And that's all I'm getting. Like, America is always home to me. And I can always go back. And I always carry it with me.
And like I feel like that's like a privilege that we have. Whereas when other people comment of like, why would you live here? Like live somewhere else? It's like they don't see it like full circle, and we can see, we have the privilege because of our parents. We can step between both sides.
Yeah, yeah. And like one of the struggles, which is not a struggle, but it is like something that I deeply think about, is the privilege of being a Viet Kieu from abroad, living here. Of course, my buying power, my perspective, and like I'm valued here.
Even the way we think.
Yeah, yeah, and like I like it's just so interesting. I just feel very, very valued here in a way that, like in the States, I felt like I was fighting for my worth and fighting to prove my worth in a lot of spaces. But here, I just like automatically have it because I'm foreign, and that is a huge privilege that that I'm still dealing with.
I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Because I have a local friend, and he's like, oh, he sees his first, before he talked to me, is like the first stereotype of like Viet Kieu is like, you're just walking money bags.
I know.
And as like, you have your money, you da-da-da. And I guess some people can just see it as like, we condescending, like Viet Kieus are better than. And there is a small slice that is like that, but
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm trying to assimilate.
Yeah, yeah. And like I came here with the understanding that I am like not as good. I am half, of you, because you understand the culture that I've always wanted to understand. And I've always been seeking, and that's why I literally live here, and like just observing like little things, little nuances in like how people order or how people like interact with their Grab driver or whatever. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. So yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean though, that there are some Viet Kieus who
Viet
yeah,
Kieu bros.
yeah, the Viet Kieu bros who just think they're hot shit because they speak English. Yeah,
Also, those are the real LBHs.
I think so, but we won't
Anyways,
get into that.
we digress.
We digress.
Living here, how were your relationship with your parents back home growing up?
That is interesting. My mom visited me while I was living here, and I think I got to show her a different side of Vietnam that she's never seen, maybe a more progressed way of living. And of course, like we come here with American dollars, like it's so different from what she knew. And she could see my lifestyle here and be like, okay, she's safe. No one's taking advantage of her. Maybe sometimes at food stalls, who can help it? But like primarily, like generally, she is, I think, proud of the ways in which I'm connecting with culture, and she noticed it. Like when she visited me, and like there were like certain things that I did, you know, like just small things, like when we came to visit family and I greeted everybody. I did not do that before. Like I mean, it's not like I was spoiled, but it was just not part of my culture.
Wait, hold up. Hold up. You never did that growing up?
Like
I was forced to
did
do
growing.
that.
Yeah. I did growing up, and then I left for college.
Okay.
So, you know, I haven't lived with my mom in
Oh,
like
gotcha, gotcha,
15
gotcha.
years. And so like, you know, visiting family, and like I would be like hi to whoever's there.
Really? That's hella white. Dude, I remember, okay, it was a tangent.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, we were like, okay, con ơi, come here, chào chú.
Yeah.
Chào con.
Yeah,
You know, I'm like, I hated that.
No,
I
yeah.
hated that.
I remember all of that, you know, like, but then like I think I'm nice, I'm courteous in that like I say hello to everyone, but like I didn't go out of my way to like oh, is this person here? I should go say hi to them even when they're not in the room. I should go out of my way to say hi and go out of my way to say goodbye.
And where did you get that? Where did you start picking that up?
When I first moved here.
Because you saw it as like a respect thing.
Yeah.
You started getting it.
Yeah, and I really started to understand it, and I saw like people like me, older than me, younger than me, doing it, that I was like, should I do that too? You know, and like just those really small things. There's this phrase like xin phép, you know, cháu xin phép. Like it is so sweet to me, and
Phép is, wait, for the non-Viet, ask for permission.
Yeah. Xin phép is like, may I please? And it's very like respectful, like polite. And so I said it, and my mom was like really shocked, like because we were like among like her brothers and sisters, and like I was like, oh cháu xin phép về trước nha, and they were like my mom was like, that's my daughter, you know, like who raised you, who raised you to say that? But it's like Vietnam is raising me.
So were you more like a rebellious kid with your parents when it came to like
Yes.
following Vietnamese culture?
Yeah, because I hated it. I was like, you know, America teaches us
Yes,
that
yes.
like we are all on the same level. You know, like if you want my respect, you earn my respect.
Individualism.
It is so individual. But and so we were like, why they don't say hi to me? Why don't they say hi to me first?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I like cringe at the thought of that, because it's like they don't owe you anything. You know, you're like a child, and you don't know anything.
And I feel like we get that from like going through the westernized and then media and culture
Yes.
in the West. We get that, you being a rebel and like being like, I don't understand you, why don't you understand me, type of thing. I think it's very common.
Yeah,
And-
but now like as I'm learning more Vietnamese words, it really helps me to like speak to my mom in different ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, that's one of the most healingest. Oh, that's the word. Most healing thing that I've. My experience here is I'm able to understand my parents, like the
Yeah.
way that they think and they are. Because before, as a kid, I'm like, why don't you understand me? Like da 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 da. Now I'm like, oh, I get why you think like that. And that's why
Yeah.
you want this for me. Blah blah blah. blah.
Yeah. It's like I'm like, why didn't you understand me? But it's like, did I ever understand them? Like, no. So yeah, I'm really starting to learn like their culture, why they are the way they are, why they think the way they think, and also like language. I mean, communicating is like number one in like a relationship. So if I can't communicate with them, what do you have?
100%. Because like I don't know how your parents' English is.
Bad, like horrible.
So it's like for me, it's like, yeah, I'm never gonna like. They're not gonna never learn English to my level.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna learn Vietnamese.
Vietnamese to their level. Yeah. I think it's been so nice. So I've been using words that I've never heard my mom say before.
Yeah.
Like healing words like xin lỗi, you know, or
Xin lỗi for what?
well, I know, why would they ever say sorry? But like things like literally, there is a word hiểu lầm. Hiểu lầm is like to misunderstand.
Hiểu sai, right? Hiểu lầm, hiểu sai.
Yeah, yeah. Do you say hiểu sai?
I don't know. I think so. I've heard it, but I didn't.
Oh, yeah, we like, yeah, I'm just discovering like mental health words in Vietnamese that I'm like I want to introduce that to my mom. Yeah, like more like a softer, more healing language.
Yeah. What has been like the pros now that you have a year here? So we talk about just buying power, lifestyle, saving money. Let's go into the cons. We talked a little bit about in the first episode about like the water, the air,
Yeah.
your skin.
Yes, still bad.
I'm pretty sure like waking up hella late and working, that doesn't help either.
Yeah.
I don't know about your mom, but my mom was like, "Đừng có thức khuya."
I know, always. Yeah, my mom like still doesn't like that I sleep late, even though it's literally my work.
So cons, help us on like what are some things?
I told you a lot of the struggles. I mean, I don't want to harp on it.
But day to day, like we're like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes there is kind of like there's a back and forth. It's like I don't want to appear too foreign, but then it's like, am I lying if I'm not? Like, I don't know how to portray myself sometimes. Like when I'm talking to a Grab driver, for example, and like they're like, oh, are you VQ? And you know, and then sometimes like I know that I'm not being like taken advantage of per se, but like yeah, sometimes they do hike up the prices, you know, for a VQ. Or sometimes they'll like, oh, why don't you add this on or whatever because you can afford it. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to get cheated and all that stuff. But then I also don't want to lie because it like feels weird to not say that I'm.
yeah. Sometimes I totally understand because like I've been on the back of like a Grab and they're like, oh, I'm gonna Vic you. I'm like, oh no, you outed me. I don't feel safe. I'm like, oh no, I need to pretend to be a local.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, it's like the pretending.
Because they have all their like prejudice about like VQs. I'm like, I don't want to be lumped into that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Whether that's like getting overcharged, thought negatively in a certain way, or do you want to try to take advantage of me? Right?
Yeah, yeah. So there's like that constant struggle. Like sometimes I feel like I'm lying because they'll like, you know, some people will ask if I speak to them. They're like, "Oh, are you from Minh Trung?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yes."
Đúng rồi.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, đúng.
Đúng rồi.
Because like I have like my parents' accent is Minh Trung.
Really?
So
Where?
like, well, we're Buôn Ma Thuột,
Oh,
Central
okay.
Highlands.
Đắk Lắk.
Yeah, Đắk Lắk. So I think that my Vietnamese honestly has gotten like good enough that I can pass for a local because they'll ask me, "Are you from Minh Trung?" And I'm like, "Wow, I thought you would have asked like, am I foreign?" But no. And so now I like 1 year in after all this Vietnamese practice, I will say yes that I'm from Minh Trung. But then if they ask any more follow-up questions,
You're like, oh damn, bro.
I'm like, I don't know
comprehension.
shit else. So yeah, that's the only thing now is that I feel a little bit like a phony.
So okay, after a year now, like, what is you hoping to get out of Vietnam now, going into like year 2?
So year 1, I really got to like take it easy. Like the first 6 months I lived here, I stopped a lot of projects. A lot of my teammates back at home like really picked up a lot of the slack for me because I was just trying to like settle in and like meet people, you know, and like understand culture and everyday living. And in that time, this past year, I've been able to write a lot of poetry that I think is healing for me and for some reason healing for a lot of folks online as well. I've gotten a lot of really sweet messages that are like, oh my gosh, like seeing you go through this journey is somehow healing me. And like this kid in me that, you know, either like resents my parents because I didn't understand them or whatever, or like it makes me miss my parents. And I was like, whoa, like that's cool. Like that I'm just on this journey and I'm able to help other people while I'm like figuring out my healing journey. So this next year, I want to lean more into it because, we always see art as this extra thing, this leisurely thing that you do after you do life. But like art right now, like is like an integral part of my life, and I don't know, it's been helping in so many ways.
Can you help us understand?
Mm.
Can you help us understand more? So many ways in what?
Yeah. Okay. Like, so what does your mom call you?
Gone.
Okay. That's good for you. I'm very glad.
Not
your
mày
mom-
or tao. Or,
So yeah, my mom
I
calls
did
me
not.
my.
Oh.
Yeah. My mom, like growing up, she called us my, and she called herself Tao. But I would use gone, obviously.
You
I
did
don't.
that like without her like instructing you. You're just like, I'm gonna say gone.
We would call ourselves like
Okay,
gong gong
gotcha,
đói bụng,
gotcha.
whatever.
Got you.
But then she, addressing us would say mày phải ngủ
Yeah.
sớm, or whatever. Like, and coming here, seeing everyone and their moms call each other gong and mẹ, I was like, wait, can I ask my mom at 33 years old, like, can you call me gone?
And
And I did. I drafted this small little thing in Vietnamese, but it's a big conversation, right? It's like it's awkward as hell. We don't hug. We don't ever say I love you or I miss you. But one day I built up the courage to be like, hey, in Vietnamese, like it really hurts me, and I think that there's a lot of tenderness and warmth if you call me con instead of my.
wait, can you like role play right now? Okay, so I'm your mom. Okay, go.
Like in Vietnamese?
Yes.
I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember fully the conversation anymore.
Just play along, just play.
Like I was saying like hôm kia con ở nhà của Nguyên là bạn con á, con thấy Nguyên với lại mẹ của Nguyên nói chuyện á, thì con thấy là mẹ của Nguyên gọi Nguyên là con. Và con thấy rất là cảm động, tại vì chắc là con cũng muốn mẹ gọi con là con, tại vì lớn lên thì mẹ gọi con là mày và mấy đứa con. Và con thấy là cái từ mà mày á, nó rất là nặng và nó không có được tình cảm á, bằng cái từ con. Và con muốn cái relationship của mình nó gần hơn, cho nên mẹ có thể gọi con bằng con không? It was so awkward because I was like almost in tears.
Crying?
Yeah, like it's like, I felt like a 10-year-old, that's like trying to heal this relationship with my mom.
And then what'd she say?
And she just was quiet. She didn't say anything.
Dismiss it?
And she's like, mày nói gì?
Mày nói cái gì à?
And I was like, yeah, so that'd be great. And then eventually, like, I think, like, the next call we had, she was like, and you could hear her almost say mày.
Yeah.
But then she goes, con ăn gì chưa? And I was like, and it was like a moment of healing, I think, for both of us. That, like,
You're
like
putting
she's...
in like an effort.
Yeah, like that I'm putting an effort, like I'm here learning all these words. Like I probably could not have ever said those two very simple sentences to her if I wasn't immersed in Vietnamese, in the culture. And for her, like, I am telling her that I think she's capable of change and healing too. And it wasn't like I need you to do this, but it was like, hey, like I saw this thing and I was really touched by it. Do you think you could do that? So yeah, it was a good moment, although very awkward.
I feel like that's what we need to do though, as like they don't know any better. I don't know if it's the wrong thing to say, but it's like because now we're adults and it's like that you're talking about that 10-year-old self that needed to hear that, right? So that way like it struck a chord with you.
Yeah.
So it's like we can go back through all our entire lives and be like, I didn't like that way it felt with me then when you said this, and you still keep it up with me now, and I'm a grown ass person.
Yeah, like
so
a
now maybe we
grown-
talk about it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And like it's okay, like I don't, you know, now that I'm here, like I don't like I understand completely where she came from. I mean, every day was a struggle for
Oh, do
her.
you say I miss you yet?
I I tried.
I remember you told me that. I'm like, I did it. I was like, oh my god.
I
I'm
tried
like, yeah,
like yeah, after she left, you know,
yeah,
because she spent 2 months here
yeah.
with me, and after she left, like you know, obviously, like I
Chị
missed her.
chị nhớ mẹ không?
Nhớ mẹ. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I think I miss her. I probably miss her less because I write so much poetry about her that it feels like she's always with me. So I'm always writing to her about her.
But she receiving it though.
She she's probably not receiving it because I write in English, so you know she has no idea what it says. But I will send her a bunch of pictures of my life.
Look into the camera, and you are your younger self rebelling against your mom. What would you tell that younger Kavi?
Aw, younger Kavi. There's so much that you don't know, and sure, your parents don't understand you, but you probably don't understand them either. So, you know, just ask them more questions about their life, and I think you'll be very, very insightful.
Awesome.